A terrifying, bloodthirsty vampire protects the dark, foggy cobblestone streets of an alternate Victorian Gotham. This terrifying winged vigilante secretly drinks the corrupt blood of evil criminals to maintain his humanity.
A deeply terrifying serial killer stalked wealthy, innocent citizens through the heavy, cold, atmospheric shadows. The gruesome madman wore a tattered purple tailcoat and aggressively wielded highly terrifying surgical blades. The weary police inspector stood completely terrified while investigating another highly brutal, gruesome murder.
Suddenly, a massive dark-winged creature violently dropped entirely from the dark, stormy night sky above them. Glowing red demonic eyes instantly penetrated the incredibly thick atmospheric fog covering the dark alleyways. The terrifying undead warrior violently grabbed a running wealthy criminal using incredible superhuman strength. Exposing sharp, pale fangs, the monstrous hero aggressively drained the terrible, wicked soul to feed the hunger.
What incredibly epic alternate comic universe should we explore next? Subscribe right now for more amazing superhero lore.
The deeply tortured hero desperately used glowing brass steampunk machinery to continuously purify his own blood. He tragically sacrificed his entire mortal soul just to protect innocent people from absolute, ultimate darkness.
But the horrifying laughing madman violently escalated his terrible, deadly attacks across the entire dark city. The slender, terrifying killer aggressively chased crying innocent women past flickering outdoor gas street lamps.
A massive shadow violently swept across the dirty, wet cobblestone directly behind the laughing, wicked murderer. The Vampire Knight aggressively tackled the terrifying painted clown straight through an expensive glass window,
Crashing violently into an abandoned Victorian warehouse, the two massive legends prepared for a brutal battle.
The heavily armored vigilante forcibly punched the slender killer using absolute terrifying demonic strength.
But the incredibly agile madman wildly slashed the heavy leather armor using highly sharpened, bloody scalpels. Dark, toxic poison dripped aggressively from the incredibly sharp surgical blades directly into the open wounds.
The weakened vampire hero collapsed heavily upon the dirty wooden floorboards while the evil clown laughed loud. Fighting through absolute, terrible, agonizing pain, the glorious Dark Knight violently extended massive bat wings. A massive swarm of aggressive flying bats violently shattered the high-ceiling windows to attack the evil clown. Surrounded entirely by aggressive swarming bats, the terrible bleeding vampire prepared his final deadly strike. The massive swarming bats violently attacked the terrified painted clown, forcing the sharp bloody blades to drop. Charging directly through the massive dark flying swarm, the angry vampire knight unleashed total absolute fury. Grabbing the tattered tailcoat forcefully, the dark vigilante slammed the terrible murderer into the wall. The terrifying slender madman quickly pulled another hidden surgical blade, slashing the heavy leather armor again. But the incredibly dark supernatural vampire blood inside the heroic vigilante instantly healed the terrible wounds. The gruesome, wicked smile finally faded into absolute pure terror.
upon witnessing the terrifying demonic healing.
Exposing sharp pale fangs widely, the bloodthirsty vampire knight prepared to brutally drain the evil wicked soul.
The deeply horrified serial killer stared directly into glowing red demonic eyes, finally facing absolute death. But the legendary tortured hero fought the terrible dark bloodlust, completely refusing to become an evil monster.
Disgusted by the horribly toxic blood, the towering vigilante violently threw the slender murderer across the room.
Suddenly, the weary police inspector violently kicked open the massive wooden doors alongside heavily armed officers.
The shocked older policeman found the terrifying serial killer tied completely tight, using massive, dark, thick ropes. Looking closely toward the shattered ceiling windows, the brave inspector realized the dark, shadowy monster saved them. The magnificent dark vampire knight silently glided across the foggy Gothic rooftops to escape the arriving police. Landing gracefully inside the dark underground cavern, the severely poisoned vigilante required immediate medical help.
Plugging thick glass tubes into the heavy leather armor allowed the glowing brass machinery to clean the toxic poison.
Advanced glowing steampunk machinery successfully flushed the terrible dark green poison completely out of the system.
The incredibly exhausted nocturnal hero rested upon the ancient stone coffin, slowly recovering massive demonic strength.
But the incredibly dangerous mission completely protecting the innocent Victorian citizens was absolutely never finished. The massive, dark Gothic city remained incredibly peaceful tonight because a terrifying, bloodthirsty monster watched closely. Innocent, wealthy citizens completely feared the dark, terrifying winged vigilante, yet quietly thanked the brave protector.
The legendary vampire bat remains the absolute ultimate terrifying guardian of the entire fog-covered Victorian universe.
He completely sacrificed a peaceful human life to ensure horrific evil criminals never truly control the dark city streets.
What incredibly epic alternate comic universe should we explore next? Subscribe right now for more amazing superhero lore.